morning. Mr. Lesham is here, and we have started exponents. We had a few lessons of revising grade 10 stuff, not easy stuff, but now, well, I'll be honest with you, this is still grade 10 level, but most of you couldn't really do it in grade 10, and hopefully now in grade 11 you'll get it. So what we asked to do is simplify. Okay? By the way, I'll give you a page. We are in page 30. And we are working on exercise 2B. I've actually chose a few questions from the example, so you'll have all these questions and exercise to do by yourself. So we've got stuff like this. Okay, we've got stuff like that. All right, and we are asked to simplify. Now let's start with what you can't do. We can't start cross-cancelling. I can't get the cross-cancelling monster. I can't start cross-cancelling. Why can't I start cross-cancelling 3 power x, 3 power x?
Because they're not all the same base.
No, but they are the same base. But this one, why can't I cross-cancel that?
It's not factorized. No,
yeah, you're right. It's not factorized. But what you really want to say is it's because of this plus. Okay? I've got a term plus a term divided a term plus. I can't cross-cancel. It's only if this was multiplied, then I can. Give you a quick example. If I have 2 times 4 divided by, I don't know what, 1 times, let's say 3 times 8. Now I can start cross-cancelling, right? I can cross-cancel 4 and 8 to give you 1 and 2. But when this is plus, I can't cross-cancel, plus or minus. I can't cross-cancel 4 and 8, okay? Hopefully you know that, okay? Right, so what I got to do is, I got to factorize it, like Chloe said. So there are 3 types of questions, pretty much. The first one is take a common factor, and it's always your first one, okay? Now okay. So we're going to look at the common factor. The common factor in this case is going to be 3 to the power of something, okay? And I need to, because you see, they're both 3, okay? So 3 to the power of what? Any ideas? 8. It's going to be x. Now, why we're always going to pick the smallest exponent. And I'm going to try and convince you with a simpler example. Let's say I have 2x squared plus x power 4. What will be a common factor here?
X.
Even more, x squared. You can go even bigger. Because x power 4 is x squared x squared times x squared. So x squared is the common factor. Now, what will I put in the brackets now?
X squared.
2 plus x squared. So what did I do? I chose the exponent, the smallest one, x squared, not x power 4. Yeah? The same thing here. Which one is bigger, 2x or x?
X.
Bigger.
2x.
2x. So smaller is x. So I'm going to take the 3 power x outside. Okay. Now I need to write 2 terms here. Something plus something. Maybe let's start with the second one. What should I write here that if we multiply it by 3 power x, I'll get 3 power x? 1. Okay, so that's easy. What must I write here? So if we multiply by 3 power x, I'll get 3 power 2x. 3 to the power of what?
2x. X.
Just x. Because 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of x, exponent rules, which I know you know by heart by now, is 3 to the power of 2x. Okay? So I'm going to carry on. Okay. Now, at the bottom there's nothing. Can I take any common factor out?
Oh, I see what you're doing.
You're seeing it. You can see already what I'm going to do now. Who am I going to get now?
Cross.
The cross-cancelling monster. Okay, what is she going to do to us? What is she going to... Cross-cancel that one. That's the same thing. 3 to the power x plus 1 divided by 3 to the power x plus 1 is just 1. So what is the answer?
3x.
3, let's say to the power of x. Don't say 3x. When you say 3x, then you might write 3x, okay? So 3 to the power of x. I'm going to pause here and hear what you got to say to me. So that's the first strategy. Take a common factor out. This is another common factor out, but is one twist here. What is the twist? What is the difficulty? Which Chloe said before, which was wrong last time, but now she can say it. What is not the same?
There's a 4 there.
There's a 4 there. Not the same base. So just like we did in the last lesson, we're going to make sure it's all the same bases. So let's keep this one. All the rest is the same. I'm not going to change anything. Okay. How can we turn it to 2? 2 to the power of what?
2 squared.
2
Brackets
squared.
X.
And all that I need to power x. But you can already tell me what is 2 to the square power x? It's 2 to the power of 2x, right? Okay? Okay. Now we follow this. Now it's all the same numbers. So no problem. So we're going to take a common factor. What's going to be the common factor at the top? 2 to the power of x. It's the same. Actually, it's exactly the same exercise. It's just 2 instead of 3. And you see, 2 to the power of 2x plus 2 to the power of x, 3 to the power of 2x plus 3 to the power of x. It's the same thing. It's just 2. So that's going to be 2 to the power of x plus 1. I'll leave it there and give you a chance to ask. So I've sorted out the top. Let's figure out the bottom. Okay, because that, look, I can't just, here I left the bottom as it is. There was nothing to do and it got cancelled. Here, that's not going to get cancelled with that. It's not the same thing. So I need to take another common factor and finish saying, yes, let's take 2. Okay, because 2 to the power of nothing is like 2 to the power of 1, right, which is smaller. So we're going to write 2. Okay. Let's start with the second term. What should I multiply 2 by to get 2? That's the same, which is just 1. Okay? But this is going to be 2 to the power of what?
X plus 1.
Yeah, well, you want it to be x plus 1. So I've got the 1 here, so this one's going to be 2 to the power of x. So if you add them, you're going to get x plus 1. And what do we do now?
Cross cancel.
Cross cancel once. Okay. What do we get now?
X.
2 to the power of x. We need to simplify.
So isn't it just x?
Isn't it x?
X.
Minus 1. Okay? Because the rule was when we're dividing power, we do that exponent minus that exponent. Okay? Alright, let's pause. Let's move on. So the first strategy we choose was take a common factor. Now we've got stuff like that. And we've stuffed. Okay? Why are we stuffed? Because is there any common factor we can take at the top or at the bottom?
No.
Not really, it's 1. What can I take for 1? So what we got to do here is, first of all, maybe let's see 4 power x and 2 power x. You can't cross cancel at that moment, but maybe we can at least put it in 2, right? So we already said this is going to be 2 to the power of 2x minus 1 divided by 2 to the power of x plus 1. Now whenever I see something like that, I can see it as I should have these 3 or 4 letter words thinking about here. It's dots. Okay? This is a square. This is a square and there's a difference there. Now, I think I'm going to go with what we call the K method. Okay? You can do it without, but I think K method is a bit longer, but it does help you sometimes. So what you got to do is you say, okay, my K, okay, I'll write it down in red. K is going to be equal to 2 to the power of x. Okay? What is K squared going to be? 2 to the power? 2x. Because if K is 2 to the power of x, K squared is 2 to the power of x squared, which is basically 2 to the power of 2x. So if you understand the exponent rule, you need to realize that this thing is a square of something. Okay? Now, we're going to rewrite this exponent using the k. So instead of 2 to the power of x, I'm going to write k plus 1. Instead of 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2x, what should I write?
K squared.
K squared minus 1. Okay? I could have not used this, but I think it will confuse you a bit. Okay? Right. This one I know how to do. Now it's very clear. You can see when I write it in terms of k, it should be very clear that this is the difference of a square. K squared minus 1 is k plus 1 times k minus 1. Okay? Sometime I tell my students, well, no, I'm not going to get into that. Okay.
And you can cancel it.
And now I can get my cross cancelling monster and I get k equal k minus 1. Do I stop here?
No.
No, because I need to write it in terms of the x. Okay, not in terms of the k. But I know what k is equal. What is k?
2x.
Let's say 2 to the power x, not 2x, because you're going to write 2x, minus 1. And that's the final answer. And I'll pause again. This is our last kind of type of exercise. I always should start with thinking, can I take a common factor out? Can I take the common factor up or down?
No.
No, there's nothing. Like these sixes. I can maybe if those were 2 alone, I could take a common factor out, but I've got that 6, so I can't. A difference of a square also not going to work. Definitely not here because this is 6 is not a dot, is not a square. And here I actually have 3 terms. So whenever you have 3 terms, something should come into mind. What is the 3 terms? What do we call it when you have 3 terms? Trinomial. So that's trinomial. You are going to come with trinomial. Again, I will really advise you to decide the k, k or m, whatever you want to call it. Let's try and guess what the k is going to be. Let's see if you can guess.
5.
I'm just going to put, what is it? 5? 5 to the power of x. That's a good guess because look, this is going to be the square of that. Okay? Just like we had before, if k equal 5 to the power of x, k squared is going to be 5 to the power of 2x. And at least this one, I'm going to write in red, I can write down as k squared. Right? But I've got a problem. What is it? It's x plus 1.
So it would be k, sir.
Pardon?
Would it just be k?
Well, if it was just 5 to the power of x, it will be just k. But I've got that plus 1. Let me show you how we can get rid of it. We're going to write that. We'll leave everything else. Everything else will be the same. I'm not going to touch anything else. How do I turn him into 5, something times 5 power x?
5 to
the power of x times 5.
Times 5. Look, if I time this 5 to the power of x times 5, meaning 5 power 1, 5 times 5 power x is 5 power x plus 1. So basically what I did, I chucked, I schlucked, I schlapped, I grabbed the 5 out of here and left the 5 power x. And you see that? I had to work backward. I had to understand, okay? This is where your exponent rule need to kick in. 5 to the power of x is the same as 5 times 5 to the power of x. Using simple, the first rule. Okay, let me just pause here. So, why did I actually do that? Why did I do this little schloops? Eh? Because now what is 5 power x? It's your k. So I'm going to rewrite the whole thing. 5 power 2x we said is k squared. Plus 5 times, now we know that's k, minus 6 divided by k plus 6. And now it's much more manageable. Now in quadratic territory, so we can factorize. This is not a problem for you to factorize. And I tell you what will be, without even looking, factorizing, what will be one of the brackets? What must it be? K plus 6, so we can cross cancel it. So you know it's going to be k plus 6, otherwise we made a mistake. Okay, so it's going to be k plus 6, what's the next one will be? Minus 1. You see, sometimes when you're not sure how to factorize, as long as you've done the right thing and you didn't do a mistake, one of them should be this one at the bottom. Okay, answer is k minus 1. Obviously we don't stop here. What's the next step? 5 power x minus 1. Final answer. And that's a trinomial. That's the hardest one. Okay? So let me quickly review, again, remind you what are the possibilities. What can you do? The first thing to look at is factor something out, common factor. Something like 3 to the power x plus 3 to the power x plus 2. Okay? You can take a 3 to the power x out. That's the first thing. The second one was the dots. When you have something like 3, let's use a number, 2 to the power of 2x minus, I don't know what, minus 4. Okay, that's going to be a dot, because we've got a square minus a square. Okay, it can also be a common factor out, so maybe I'll put a 9, then it can't be factor out. And then the last one is the trinomial. Right, let's have some fun. Bye-bye.